Welcome back to the Listen Up podcast, where we analyze a new album each week. I'm Jamie, and this week we've got me, Nick,
and
Jordan. This week we're going to be taking a look at Earthtones by Bahamas, released in 2018, and it was picked by Nick.
Well, yes, it was.
So Nick, you wanna elaborate a little bit on why you chose this one in particular?
Why, of course I would, Jamie. I think I kind of said it at the end of last week. Usually I kind of have something that resonates with me throughout the week, and that's kind of just what I go with. And it was weird. I didn't really find anything like all week that I really wanted to talk about on the podcast about. And I think I found this the morning that we were going to record last week's podcast. Kind of rediscovered it because I hadn't listened to Bahamas in a long time. And I was like, oh, well, I'd really love to just like... The lyrics are so clear in the album. It's not like they're hidden by any instruments or anything. But I had never really dug into them. And I love the instrumentation of the album for a long time. So I thought it would be good. And I feel like the instrumentation of the album kind of describes my general mood and attitude towards life that I usually try and have, if that makes sense. It has a similar vibe to my personal vibe. But yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah, my background with the album. I first heard his music in the old Motorola commercial with James Franco that had All the Time in the background. Which is probably...
I think that was probably most people, because that was my introduction.
Yeah. And he has a song...
That was not mine.
He has a song with like 20 million more streams on Spotify, but I don't know where that song got popular. It's a good song. It's called Lost in the Light, but it just has more streams than All the Time, but I feel like more people, at least from my generation that I know All the Time more than that other song.
Right. I mean, I don't know the other one.
Yeah.
But I like All the Time. It's one of the songs I've listened to it for like... It's one of the songs where you listen to it like forever, but you never actually investigate the artist any further.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I've known it, for years.
Yeah.
And never looked further than that.
I really like the guitar solo at the end of that song. The whole guitar part at the end of that song.
It's really good.
Yeah. The whole tone of everything. It's great. And
sorry, you can.
But yeah. And last week he came out with a new single called "Own Alone," and
that's off his new album, right?
Yeah, and his new album's coming out October
Sad Hunk
9th, I think. Yeah, Sad Hunk is the name of it. But that kind of made me listen to Earthtones again, and I was like, oh, I forgot how much I like this album. That was one reason I picked it for this week. He seems like a neat dude. I'm not sure what part of Canada he's from. He's from part of Canada. He's like I'm not sure how old he is. He looks like he's probably in his like early 40s, just like a dad making cool. I feel like the genre for this music would be like adult alternative. Would be the
yeah. I think whenever I was looking at it, it said that this one, or maybe it was the one before this. But yeah, he won like I think best album in adult art alternative in 2014 or something. Mm-hmm. I think the album's like the genre's acronym is AAA.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I remember reading that too. What did you see that for this album, or was it for the album before this one?
I don't remember. It was just I was looking at his general Wikipedia.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
It was one of the two though. It was a recent one. I think it was the one before this, which is like Bahamas is Afi or
yeah.
Affy, however you say his name.
Yeah, I've never heard him say his name, so I don't know if it's Afi or Affy.
It's something Finnish. I don't know.
Yeah, his name's Afi, and his last name is. It looks phonetically like Gervanen or Gervanen, but I don't know how you.
It's something like that. I don't know. I Scandinavian. That's nowhere for me.
Yeah, yeah. On Wikipedia, it said he was Finnish Canadian, I think.
Yeah,
but I didn't know before Christmas last year that he's on Jack Johnson's record label. That's called Brushfire Records, and I saw that they came out with his record label came out with like a compilation album of Christmas songs. Last year.
Then was he on it?
Yeah, and he was on it singing.
Gotcha.
I forget what Christmas song. It was a popular Christmas song.
It's like Dreamville, but for like white dads.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like talking a little bit about like prior experience. Like I said, I mean, I knew, I knew all the time, and I probably have heard there was another one off of that album that said was like supposed to be pretty popular. So I've probably heard that one. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like this was the most I've ever sat down and just listened to his music. And I mean, I liked it. Jordan, had you had much prior experience?
I had literally no experience.
I was going to say, I feel like it's zero.
Yeah.
Dude,
apart from that commercial.
No, even the commercial, bro.
Dude, that commercial, it was like everywhere. I'm pretty sure it was a Super
Jamie,
Bowl
you
commercial.
think you like have so much more faith in me than you should, dude. I don't get like it's so weird how like walled off I am, and like I don't even. You're like, oh yeah, that blew up, and we heard that, but it's like I don't even hear like songs from artists that kind of blow up. Like sometimes I do, but okay, wait, which song was it again that blew up with
it's
this?
All
it was called
the Time.
All the Time,
and it was was it a Motorola commercial?
I don't know.
What was the commercial?
But yeah, I haven't had like anything.
Like I remember all like football season, the year that came out, that commercial. It was like I saw it all the time.
Okay, either I just scrolled through real quick. Either
I didn't even realize
it. Either I just don't remember it, but
yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll chalk you up to no experience. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Jordan, having no experience, what did you think about the album?
Okay, so I thought it was like I actually really liked it. I actually really liked it. I kind of just put it on I put it on the background. So what I've been doing first is like putting it on the background and just see how I like kind of like vibe with the music in the background.
See what kind of like grabs your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think it was just pretty chill. I don't know. I definitely just liked. I can't pick out anything individually right now, but I'll like try to later. But just like listening to it while I was like playing a video game or something that wasn't even like that intense. I just started. I try to not listen to it too intensely and just kind of like I said. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. Like vibe to the music, but I remember seeing my head or like feeling my head like bobbing a little bit. I'm like, yo, this actually sounds kind of good. Like I kind of like listening to this. But
yeah, after I picked it, I was worried that you weren't gonna like it like at all because you usually say you like more aggressive or energetic music, and I guess there's probably like
at all.
What'd you say?
I know
it's not this at all.
Yeah,
yeah. I think I'm starting to appreciate slower music a little bit more, which might be.
It's
I know. I think I'm slowly getting conditioned.
Yeah, I don't know if it's I would think that it'd be like. Kind of the opposite of conditioning, like opening up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like listening to it. Okay. Well, I didn't mean conditioned. Like it was like 1984 or something. I meant like I'm hearing more, so now I can like compare rather than just like compare it straight to rap. I can compare it to like other music that's kind of like
similar to
slower.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like we're helping build out your tool belt. If all you have hammer, all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail kind of thing. So
true.
Now we're giving you like screwdrivers and
like I think I enjoyed this more than like Willie Nelson's album. I think and that's what I wasn't comparing it directly, but I was like I like the just kind of.
Old Country's pretty hard in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I I just like the guitars in this, and just like
Mhm.
kind of the instrumentals in this. But
Yeah,
I kind of enjoyed it.
one thing I really like about this album and almost all of his music is how simple the arrangement feels for the instrumentation. Like there's not a bunch of different instruments going on at one time.
Well, and that's because
like.
it's at the core, it's just him, right? And then like touring, he has like vocalists and like drummers and stuff like that. But like
I think
the
so.
songs are written, and then it's just him for the most part. Right?
Yeah, he's not like, I don't think he's like Tame Impala where he does like all the instruments and stuff. But
right.
But he writes it.
But he
plays
probably
the
has like
guitar
studio.
and he sings it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would figure he'd probably like most singer-songwriters, if they have, like a music backdrop, they'll kind of like, they'll have their parts and they're like, okay, and this is kind of what I want. And then like a session musician or someone will like, like develop the rest of the song. But yeah, I mean, and so I like it a lot. It feels very like personable.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire album, it felt like, I mean, because from like a songwriting standpoint, it's like him. From a musical standpoint, it's like he's the focus of it. The rest of it's just kind of like adding to that background.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, it was. I watched a live performance of, I think he did "Way with Words" and opening act, the Shooby Dooby song. I think he did.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think he did both of those on Jimmy Kimmel around the time the album came out, and I watched both of those performances today, and I was surprised.
He was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I was surprised that he had two drummers when he performed, and he might have had. I don't think he had two bass players. I know he played guitar. Someone else played like rhythm guitar, and there was a bassist, 3 backup singers. But I was surprised when I saw there were 2 drummers because I was what? Like, what complex rhythms are they doing and stuff?
It's seldom that you see 2 drummers, especially for something like this kind of music. Like 2 drummers. I mean, the biggest example I can think of is like the Allman Brothers.
Yeah,
and that's like
I didn't know they did. I didn't know they had 2 drummers.
Yeah, and Tedeschi Trucks. Whenever we saw them, they had 2 drummers too. But I mean, that's because there are 2 drummers, but then there's like 20 people on stage.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, I knew that. I knew that King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I knew they had 2 drummers.
Yeah. Well, they're just weird. That's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like overall, I dug this album too. I liked how.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was a very relaxed listening. Every time I listened to it, it's just kind of like, and most of the rhythms, like looking at it from a, not necessarily like an arrangement perspective, but like looking at just like timing wise, a lot of the album felt in this very comfortable BPM pocket where it was like you can do pretty much the same like head bob throughout the entire album and it's still on rhythm.
Yeah.
I thought that was like, and sometimes I like a lot of variety, but with something like this, it felt more natural to just be able to kind of like the entire time just kind of go with like just ride the same beat for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
Whenever I revisit the album, I always feel like the first song alone, I feel like it has I feel like the very beginning of it, how it opens the album, is kind of like contrasting to how the rest of the album sounds. Like it almost sounds like it starts off with a not an ominous tone, but just a more serious tone.
Yeah, my thoughts about the song was that it like overall the album is very like chill and relaxed, but like Alone felt very like, I don't know, it just kind of on edge and tense the entire time. Which that was something that I noticed, and most of like another thing about the album overall that I kind of thought was like the start of it, like with Alone, that's like got most of the highs of like. From a like frequency perspective, it felt like a very high one, and then like it kind of gets lower, and then the last song is like most of like the lowest he sings and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
I thought that was kind of an interesting not necessarily a rise and fall, but like start high and then it just kind of like ends with like a just much lower place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I speaking of, you were talking about him singing high and stuff. I watched a little bit of a performance he did at Bonnaroo today, and I can't. Nice. I don't know if the video was posted in 2019, but I don't know if it was from 2019 because
it wasn't. I would have at least seen him because I knew his song. At least I'm almost positive.
That's what I figured. Yeah. Because I knew you didn't like tell me about him at all, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Jamie would have at least said something about him.
Right, because I know that like it said it looks like 2015.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But he, I think it was in All the Time, because that was the song he closed out his set with. I think it was in All the Time,
and I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah,
that
he,
it was 2015.
Gotcha. Towards the. I think it was in the last verse of the song. He sings in like a higher register, and it was impressive. As soon as he like went to that higher register, the whole crowd like started cheering and stuff. It was cool. I'm looking at this. Would have been pretty good. I'm looking at the lineup. Bonnaroo. Dude, they had Houndmouth in 2015. Oh heck yeah, I love Houndmouth.
Tove Lo, Glass Animals, Benjamin Booker.
Oh yeah, dude. I've thought about doing Benjamin Booker's second album like 3 times for my podcast album, but I just haven't picked it
yet. Dawes, Alabama Shakes, Kendrick Lamar. Dude,
baby.
This would have been such a good lineup.
That would have been awesome.
Royal Blood.
Oh hell yes.
Earth, Wind and Fire. RTJ, Odessa. Tears for Fears. Dang, this would have been Ben Folds.
What a time to be alive.
This would have been a killer set list.
We were alive, but we were just in high school.
Oh, because this would have been Kendrick. This would have been To Pimp a Butterfly too.
Oh damn, he'd have been going hard.
Hosier, My Morning Jacket.
Oh heck yeah! I'm sure they would.
Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah, dude. That would have been awesome.
Bass Nectar, Bahamas, Sturgill Simpson, Flume.
God. Bro, you guys are gonna cry just talking about
SZA again.
Like
Highly
SZA.
Suspect.
Like
Kaleo. Dang, dude.
Like 4 or 5 of the artists you just named are artists that I like always
Billy
go back
Joel?
to, that I can throw on like any of their songs and be like, yeah, I'll listen to this.
Yeah. AWOL Nation, Robert Plant and the Sensational Space Shifters.
Interesting.
His Golden Messenger.
Oh hell yes, dude.
Shaky Graves. Damn, this is a killer lineup. God.
So were the headliners, I guess, like Kendrick and I guess it might not say.
I would guess earliest to latest set time. So according to that, if it was like the one we went to, then it would have been Kendrick and then Deadmau5 and Earth, Wind and Fire.
Okay.
Deadmau5.
And then Saturday would have been
I'm sure seeing Deadmau5 at a festival.
I think Saturday would have been My Morning Jacket, Mumford & Sons, and Bass Nectar, and maybe Gambino.
All right. My Morning Jacket, I'm sure they put on an awesome live show.
Yeah.
I feel like they did.
Dang,
really
dude,
good
this
job.
would have been cool. I was, this year's lineup was also killer, but
we
had to refund our tickets.
Yeah. when I used to work at a grocery store, I was bagging groceries for a guy.
Lowe's Food represent.
What'd you say? Lowe's Food represent, yeah. I said a grocery store because I know they're kind of like a North Carolina thing. But we have such a wide audience, so I needed to apply to everyone.
Right. Our massive international demographic.
Yeah. But I was bagging groceries for a guy who was wearing a My Morning Jacket t-shirt, and I was familiar with like 3 or 4 of their big songs, and I've listened to more of their stuff now, but I just made conversation with him. I was like, hey man, you like My Morning Jacket? And Jim James is the name of their lead singer, and he said, oh yeah man, Jim James is a rock god. I've seen them like 11 times in concert. And I was like, bro, I don't think Jim James is like the next Mick Jagger, or like you need to relax, man. Like they're good, and I'm sure they have like great live shows, but they're not like, I don't think they're the Grateful Dead. Well, I think you could make comparisons to them as the Grateful Dead of our generation because their genre is very similar,
bit,
and I think their live shows are probably pretty similar, but they just don't have the same kind of cultural impact. But they are a really good band. I do like, especially their 2 newest albums. I really like both of those.
Yeah.
But we might need to rein it back into good old.
Yeah, now that we're freaking sad about not going to Bonnaroo in 2015.
Yeah, what the hell? You guys just made yourself.
Whenever the time machine is invented, Jamie and I are going to go back to Bonnaroo.
2015 Bonnaroo, absolutely.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. I like the vocal range he had.
Yeah, and
throughout the album,
I couldn't find credits for Bad Boys Need Love Too. But I'm pretty sure he sings that. And
after listening to the last song, I'm almost positive that that's him.
Yeah.
Because like it's only a little bit lower than the like low parts of
Any Place.
Of Any Place, and that's just impressive, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be able to like go moderately low and then really high, but it's a whole nother to be like. I mean, he's not going like crazy high. He's maybe going like an octave at most above concert C, maybe an octave and a half. But like, I mean, he's hitting those bass notes like fully bass notes. Like it's insane how low he can get without losing like the same like inflection ability. Because it's one thing to be able to go low, but then you like close off and can't articulate stuff, but I mean he's singing low and it sounds comfortable.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a way to say that, like he still has range in that lower register to sing well and not just sing like a flat.
Right, it's not one note the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like it's still dynamic, but it is very low, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
And really good, man. It's so like smooth. His voice is like butter.
I feel like he's a handsome fella, especially for I don't know. He's got a.
Do you know what he looks like?
Yeah.
Depending on the picture, if you Google image him,
if you did you not like?
He looks better with a beard.
He does. He looks like a sad hunk with a beard. Am I right?
Yeah. That's because
that's the name of his next album that comes out October 9th. Everyone look up "Sad Hunk" on October 9th.
No.
Plug for the episode.
I mean, yeah, and you can see him. I think he looks better with the beard, but yeah, I mean, he's a decently handsome guy.
He does look better with the beard. No offense if he watches.
Sorry, Mr. Gervanen. but Jordan's advice is that you should keep the beard.
I'm sorry. But
yeah.
There was a. Wait, sorry. What were you saying?
Nothing really. What were you gonna like remark about the album? I was just gonna go into like some note that I had.
Oh, I was just gonna say there was. Actually, I don't know. I'll just say real quick. There's a couple songs I like. Like I really like "Show Me Naomi."
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of like a different mediums in that, as far as like sound and like instruments, so like voice play. It was kind of just like it was a kind of all over the place at different parts.
Do you have any like really particular parts that stick out to you that you want me to cut in, or just like you just like it overall?
I think I just kind of like it overall. Gotcha. I think I like the parts where he doesn't have a lot of. I feel like he does. Okay, I'm sorry if I get this wrong, but does he have a lot of backup vocals on a lot of these songs?
Yeah, definitely.
Like from different.
Yeah,
it's more prevalent on this album, I think, than definitely the 2 albums before that. But I said in my notes that there seems like there's gospel influences in this album, and I think I really just said that because he has those. Like
with all the like harmonization.
Yeah, harmonization and like the choir of vocals that comes in certain times. But that was one thing I really liked in like the majority of the album songs.
I was gonna say because in "Show Me Naomi," I really like the backup vocals a lot in that song.
Show me, show me every last little thing about you. Show me. If you don't show me how you wanna be treated, our history just gets repeated. So you gotta.
That's something that made it good to me. And then also I guess Bad Boys Need Love Too. The backup vocals in that also sounded really good because
The like high part was like.
Bad boys need love too.
What? You know who I'm talking about.
Bad boys need love too.
What? You know who I'm talking about.
Bad boys need love too.
You know who I'm talking about. All the deadbeat dads and the kids that they have.
it was it was. I mean, obviously, it was integrated into the chorus also, but it was just so nice, and their voice sounded
Especially
so good.
especially
so
that
rhyming.
contrasted with like his like really deep part, like his really deep hook he would throw in at the end of those high parts. Yeah. It was a really interesting contrast right there. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy in that song that no, never mind. I was gonna say that when he says "Bad Boys Need Love Too," his voice is low, but I don't think it is. Now that I'm thinking about it in my head, because I think it's the background vocalists say "Bad Boys Need Love Too,"
says,
and then he says, "You know."
What's he say? You know what I'm talking about, or something like that.
And it's like super low.
That's like crazy low.
I don't remember which part is it again.
It's the same. It's what you're talking about, where like there's like the high pitched Bad Boys, and then he goes,
Okay.
"You know what I'm talking," like that, but better.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I forget how low he goes sometimes.
That's the first time in the album where he goes that low, right?
You know what
I think so. And then he
I think that's probably the lowest he goes to.
Yeah, because I think that's lower than he ever goes in any place.
Yeah.
The last song.
Because once you go that low, you can't you lose dynamics.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's why that's the hook and not how he sings the chorus.
Yeah.
Thing.
One thing I really liked about "Show Me Naomi" is it almost sounds like a blemish in the song, almost, but I think it's obviously left there intentionally because they had to listen to it so much before they actually assembled the song and released it. But he holds out Naomi, like the Nao part, like right until after the instrumentation drops back into the verses instrumentation.
So you gotta show me
Like right before the bass groove starts again, or right after the bass groove starts again, that's when he stops singing the last part of the chorus. Like it sounds like it lasts just a little too long, and it definitely lasts a little longer than the first chorus. But I like that little addition. It catches you, like it catches your subconscious off guard almost. Like if you're just passively
you don't really
listening
realize it, but it piques your interest.
Like if
it's a little thing that goes, oh
yeah, like it's like
go,
that's
on.
that's not the same formulaic
hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, like how music is in general. Like you stay in that same rhythm and stuff, and you like even subconsciously you notice at least me it just sounds out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and which is why I like live music so much, is because it's like there's so much more of like the differences in the music. I definitely like that part, and I didn't realize listening to that song until I looked at like the track name that he says "Show Me Naomi." I thought he said "Show Me the Old Me." Because that fits with like the lyrics of the song about like wanting to be shown how to be like a better I guess like partner kind of. And so like "Show Me the Old Me," I thought that he meant like saying that. I was like, oh, so he means like show him before he like drifted
starting
the drifter musician life. And then I saw Naomi and I was like, oh, so that's like who he's singing to. And I looked up, and yes, that's his wife's name. I was like, well, that makes sense too.
I was about to ask, do we know who Naomi is?
I was trying to.
She's his wife.
Okay, I was trying to find information. I didn't Google too hard, but I did. I googled. I think I googled Afi Jervanen wife or Bahamas music wife or something earlier today, and I couldn't find a whole lot. But it seems like a lot of the lyrics in the album are about like relationship struggle or a fair amount of them or at least about personal internal struggle with like the way you want to approach your life and things like that. And
Yeah.
I think I've said that like 20 times on this podcast that I enjoy
It's okay.
that I enjoy introspection and a conflicted nature within songs. So
Right. I mean, that makes sense because that's like for you as a person, that's like what makes you enjoy art as a medium.
yeah,
From like, conversations we've had just throughout life, I guess.
yeah,
And it's like relatable music you just like better, Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you talk to anyone, everyone always says, like, oh, yeah, that music was really relatable, or, like, that music was got me through, like, a hard time or something. And it's just, like, they're basically just saying what you feel, which is a lot of...
Mm-hmm.
Which, I know you guys don't know this, but a rapper named... I don't know, do you guys know who P&B Rock is?
I know the name.
He's the one who had the last song on the Pop Smoke album that you guys liked, kind of. It was the only one that was, like, different.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
But they apparently he came out and was like, yo, why are all these rappers making such sad songs? Like, when I used to make songs, they were so, like, upbeat and happy and about partying. And then, like, a couple of, like, the, like, quote-unquote sad rappers were like, bro, we're just doing what relates to us, man. We're just talking about shit.
Right.
And it's like, obviously. I was like, bro, why are you calling out someone for not making, like, happy music?
Right? Like,
it was weird. It was weird. I was like, this dude's... It just seemed weird, like a weird thing to call out. I was like, bro, it's music. How are you going to tell somebody...
That reminds me of a great Jason Isbell line from a song called To a Band That I Loved off of his album Something More Than Free. Like the last chorus is like, or not the last chorus, but the line I'm talking to in particular says, I thought I was the only one left from an old southern town, new ideas bouncing around in my head, and I thought everyone like me was dead. And he says, and somehow you put my fears on a page when I still had nothing to say, and how I miss you today. So, like, I mean, like, that's the same kind of thing where it's like, music has an uncanny way of whether it gives you words to like express how you're feeling and what you mean. And so I mean that's why music is, you listen to what you relate to, because that's like it's what you are feeling.
Yeah. Like especially for someone like me who's never been able to really like articulate what they're thinking in a perfect way that exemplifies truly what they're thinking. You can hear that in music, and you can hear someone else sing those lyrics and be like, oh wow, that's exactly what I thought. And even though this isn't a purely literal, like even though it might not be purely literal, the poeticism of something can even sometimes more authentically articulate the feeling you're having than saying like, oh, I feel kind of melancholy. Like you can describe you can describe a situation and be like, oh yeah, the feeling of that situation is what I'm feeling right now in my situation.
Yeah, I mean, it paints a more like vivid picture.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. But I guess getting back into a little bit more specifics about this album, I absolutely love, like, every time I listen to the album, it's almost always like one of my favorite parts, just because I think it's so damn slick. Like, it's so smooth, but it's in opening act where, because the whole song's about like I used to play to nobody, like, talking about how he was an opener for a lot of people. And then I think is it not I thought it was the second verse. Maybe it's the third verse.
Which part are you?
Yeah, it's the third verse where so I'm just going to read the third verse. So up until this point, he's talking about how, yes, they're the opening act, but it's still cool because he's still getting to, play music. Yeah. And verse 3, it's...
There's no company car, there's no passing the bar, there's no end in sight. And I know it ain't wrong if some half-written song keeps me up at night. If I open my mouth and nothing comes out, I won't be reduced. 'Cause I always remember to pull out my fender and just let her loose.
Like that transition is just so damn slick.
that's a
I love that.
that's a good word for it, because that's I feel like that encapsulates a quality that I love about this album. So much of the album,
Yeah.
So much of the songs in the album sound just so groovy and so slick, and so,
It's just it's the kind of line where, you know, like, if he's performing the song live, anyone in the audience who knows the song is waiting for that part, and he does the thing where, like, the singer gets up close to the mic and kind of does like a smirk while they sing out that line, and then just go into a solo. Yeah, like there's one of my favorite clips is like a 21-minute jam session with John Mayer, is like just kind of playing rhythm for some like nightclub band in LA, and they're just hanging out. And then like the singer, he says like something, a word that rhymes with thing, and then he's like, and now we're just gonna let John do his thing, and then he like starts soloing, and anything like that, I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, that kind of ties into a point that I had about a couple songs on the album. I always enjoy hearing lyrics that are about songwriting or touring or about a musician's personal experience in that like whole experience as a musician. And he has a little bit of that. He has a lot of that in Opening Act, and he has a little bit of that in the next song, in No Wrong, where he says, like, I just emptied my lungs to this empty room. Like, like the sentiment that he's doing what he loves. And I think it might be an Opening Act, or there's some other song where it sounds like he's kind of struggling with the notion of being a full-time musician, about like he's done this for so long, and this is still the point he's at in his career. He's not like some huge superstar or anything. He's just like he's a career musician who makes acclaimed music, but he's not like living lavishly off of it, basically.
Right.
I like that. I like his discussion.
He's a little more genuine.
Yeah, his genuine nature on that topic, but yet he's still, like so many other songs on the album, are still enlightening to me as a person who hadn't considered ways he had thought about things, ways he presented opinions. And I think this album came out in 2018.
2018, yeah.
So that's when we were in college. That's like,
yeah. I think it was January 2018.
Okay, so that'd be second half of sophomore year. So that would be when I was kind of floating more.
Is that the second half of sophomore year?
No. That's second half of freshman year.
January?
Right?
That's the second half of freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We started in the fall of 2017.
Yeah. We graduated in spring 2017 from high school.
Yeah.
So, like, that was during the time when I was transitioning to a different personal
right,
mindset.
You're just kind of manhood,
political
more
mindset,
of who you are,
things like that. I think I definitely didn't notice it at the time, I don't think, but listening to the song "So Free" right now, where he discusses themes about like injustice and how he would like to further his own mindset and things like that. That's always it's always affirming to hear that other people feel that way too. Like, feel like they can improve in the ways they think about things and stuff.
Right.
I think that song, I forget how long it is. It's got to be like 6 or 7 minutes. But
is it Everything to Everyone? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, So Free.
Yeah, that one's. I think it was 7.5 minutes. I looked at it like right before we started this.
It's 7 minutes and 57 seconds. So it's like right at
57. Dang,
Yeah.
I thought it was like 32.
Yeah.
So that's like
It's
almost
like
8
minutes, bro.
Yeah.
But I really like that song. I don't really know what my favorite song is on the album. I feel like there's a fair amount of songs that have, well, they have a fair amount have similar vibes, but that one's a little different. That one's more serious, kind of like Alone is.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite ones off the album. I really love towards the end of it where I think it's the last verse, pretty much the entirety of the last verse. He's singing along with the background vocals. And that kind of gives the feeling that he has support behind the beliefs that he has, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I could definitely. Yeah.
It's
I
a
see
nice.
that as like a thematic element.
Yeah. It's a nice thematic way to think about it.
Yeah, I mean there's 2 choruses, and that's like the second chorus is white privilege is dark. I don't know that I can make a difference. White privilege is dark. I've believed that love can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot that like.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean it honestly it touches a little bit on some stuff that we talked about with the Rage.
I was going to say in the Rage podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like right before that, the last part of the verse is, unfair, my share. Is this just class warfare? Our fair share? And then,
Jeez.
yeah, I mean, there's, yeah. That song, it's one of the ones it's like, just, this is what it is.
Yeah,
It's good, though.
I also really like the part in verse 3 where he says, first class, near pass. Life lived through some wine glass. That's so crass. Kind of. That's remarking on the same class thing, like
Mm-hmm.
living life, viewing everything through your wine glass, through your not high horse, but like through your elevated
Right.
status, through your through
Not
through
me,
your
baby.
own
I'm
personal
living through that.
lens. What'd you say?
Not me. I'm living through that Olive Garden Kids Cup.
Yeah, like viewing everything from your privileged perspective and not from anyone else's.
Right.
That's so
Not from,
crass.
most of the population.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very crass.
Very crass.
How
insightful.
I really like. Oh, what?
No.
Oh, yeah. I really like the slide guitar parts in Alone.
Alone.
It adds a lot to the tenseness of the entire mood of the song, really. And I also like how that contrasts with especially specifically I wrote down the guitar part after the second verse of Any Place.
Go any place.
but how warm his guitar is in that one as well. Like, even like from a vocal standpoint, which we talked to earlier, the album starts high, ends low. I mean, the tone of his like guitar is the same way. Like the in any place, it's a lot more of a rounded, bassier sound.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more bottom end, which I thought was a really cool. How like, I mean, it just shows that like the musical voicing matches so well throughout the album with his like vocal arrangements.
Yeah.
I also just like the like reggae kind of feeling of Bad Boys Need Love Too.
Yeah, I think that is that's definitely got to be an influence on the song, because when you I think you said that before we started recording, or you said it another day or something throughout the week, but I definitely feel like a reggae feel to the rhythm of the song, and I think that was hard to place because
just from like a rhythm, like kind of like sonically the kind of vibe that I'm getting from it's very like reggae.
Yeah, because I don't really listen to a lot of reggae, so I think it was hard for me to place.
I feel like I should honestly listen to more. I feel like I'd enjoy it more. It's just I don't.
Yeah, me too. Especially with the music.
Reggae's awesome.
What'd you say, Jordan?
I said I really enjoy the little reggae that I've listened to. I really enjoy it.
Like
yeah, I gotta check out more.
The music that I usually put on whenever I'm just doing whatever, like the tone and the feel of it, I feel like I would enjoy reggae. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I know my RA last year really liked reggae. But
yeah, well, I mean, that's where like R&B is kind of influenced by, right? Is like originally it was mostly like reggae stuff.
I can see it.
And then it kind of, evolved into more of what we know as like R&B today.
Yeah. I think it's
kind of like how, blues became rock.
Yeah. I was going to say I feel like it's weird to call like older. Well, it's not weird to call because that's what it originated as. But it's interesting that we call R&B now like kind of like slower hip hop music. With how it was in the old days, like it was basically like black people making blues music and like music with like attitude behind it and stuff.
Well, because R&B, it's an acronym. It stands for rhythm and blues, right?
Yeah, definitely,
yeah,
absolutely. And
yeah, it is kind of interesting to look at that because now it's like, The Weeknd and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like slow, sexy.
it's not really blues.
Is what R&B has become. Yeah. Right. It's not. It got a lot hornier. I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like most genres. It's interesting to see
the
evolution, and then like the differences in what it was and what it is, and there's still, but it's because there's still like aspects of like new stuff that you can see similarities in and draw comparisons, which I think is fascinating. The coolest things to look at to me is like to look at how like country music is just like white people blues music. Like even if you look at key relations, it's like most of like blues music, a lot of like a lot of the keys used in blues music are like the relative minors of a lot of keys used in country music that's in a major voicing. Or there's even a lot of similarities, like the Grateful Dead, they play a lot of like D minor and B minor keys, but that's really getting in the weeds of music
theory. When you say country music, like do you mean like modern country music?
Like older country music.
That's what I thought.
Modern country music is a very 1-4-5 chord poppy or progressions. Yeah. That's a whole other thing.
It's always crazy
to
me.
I mean, that's
when I watch a YouTube video. It's like about music theory, and they're like, "Oh yeah, these 10 songs all use the same chord progression," and it's because someone stumbled upon it and they realized it's formulaically amazing to everyone's brains, and that's why everyone enjoys it. And it's like,
yep, one of the biggest ones is G, C, and D. That's a huge one.
I don't know.
Also C, A minor, and F. That's a pretty big one. Or C, E minor, F, and A minor.
If only I could.
What do you do when
huge
you
one.
C A minor?
You don't do anything.
We're gonna cut that out.
you
Unethical
walk
and
you walk the other direction.
You act like a rational person.
This is you ask them how their homework is going. This is no longer a raw, uncut podcast.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had from like both general and specific standpoints. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add before we hop into the old rating mobile.
No, I don't think I do. I just thought it was better than I expected.
I'm glad you liked it.
Nick, you got anything else to add?
I mean, I don't think so. We discussed the instrumentation a lot and how we all enjoyed it, I think. And I did like a lot of the lyrics. There's a lot of, not one-liners, but kind of, like, phrasings, I guess. Or just like 2 or 3 lines that I feel like wrap up the way that I think about things, or it's just a good way to think about things, like little sayings almost that he has in his lyrics that I enjoy a lot. Like, there was something clever that I thought he said in opening act where he says, "Now the music is free and you can't blame me, blame the internet."
Mm-hmm. That's in that's an opening act. That's
a funny little
one.
musing about like
the age of the digital age of like just how music's everywhere and it's hard to make money off of. Yeah.
And the chorus of "Show me Naomi," if you don't show me how you want to be treated, our history just gets repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just
this dude spit.
Yeah. But basically, like,
I mean, there's some bars, honestly.
Yeah, he has a lot of clever little, almost 2-liners that are.
It's like I guess quips would be the best.
Like something you could see like in a gift shop or like in a Home Goods on like a little plaque that you could hang up in your kitchen or something.
Not what I thought.
I was going to say, I feel like that's...
Dude,
or maybe like a plaque that you could hang in your bedroom that's like a little more philosophical and less like... less straight up funny.
That's pretty accurate.
Because I don't want to boil down his lyricism to like, hey, you could market this to Home Goods.
To Home Goods chalk.
Yeah.
That's pretty insulting, dude. I actually went there and it's like something stupid like... they're always about coffee or wine.
Or chocolate. He's not a live, laugh, love
if you're
guy.
Gonna read this
he's a lot more
glass of
insightful
wine.
than that.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, did you have any other quips to add? Nick?
I don't think those were the only ones that I put in my notes. There are plenty more that I'm sure if I would have spent time I could have wrote down, but those are some of my favorite ones.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of them where he'll build the entire verse with like presenting a thesis, and then like it's like the punchline is the last 2 songs, or last 2 lines. Yeah. It was good. Okay, so I guess do we want to hop into our little ratings?
I think so.
Yes.
You want?
I'll go last, and then I'll announce next week.
Okay, Nick, you go first.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I really enjoyed the album because it, like we talked about before, like you said before, Jamie, you analyzed me on the air on the podcast. You said you felt like you knew what I liked in art, and you're right. I enjoy a lot of what he talks about in a lot of his songs. I enjoy the feeling he creates in a lot of his songs, and I think this album, especially, a lot of the lyrics feel more applicable to my life now than they did when they came out, and that's another reason that I enjoyed listening to it again. But I really enjoyed listening to the album tonight whenever I was making dinner. Just so much of the instrumentation just helps you have a better feeling whenever you're... I wasn't feeling down tonight, but I was going to say have a better feeling whenever you're feeling down. I was feeling pretty good already. Yeah. This boosted my mood even more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But I'll give it a... I'll give it an 8. Because it's not like...
8 flat?
It's nothing life-changing, I don't think. But it has a lot of good points in it, and it is an album that I really enjoy a lot. So I'll give it a solid 8.
All right. Jordan, what about you? What you feeling?
I'm gonna give this album a 6.5.
All right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because I enjoyed it. I could probably listen to it in the background.
Yeah, I'll take
Something. Maybe not actively listen because I don't like it that much, but maybe like if I'm shopping in HomeGoods or something, and I just want.
Please say.
So you feel the same about this as Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
All right. I think I'm gonna give it. I was gonna give it a 7, but after like talking about it, I think I'm gonna give it 7.5.
I thought you were gonna go lower.
Y'all brought up a few more points than I had like initially remembered in my like when I was writing out my notes. So I think I'm gonna. I feel comfortable at 7.5.
Okay. Well, cool.
Cool.
All right, so then that'll bring our average to 7.33, which is fourth.
All right.
Below
I'll take it.
Yay
Nice.
and above Turn Blue.
At least it's
Um,
below Yay.
Yeah, Yay is third still. All right, so then I guess now that brings us to announcing next week's episode, chosen by me, and I will give you a choice. Do you
What?
want kind of
Rap.
well, neither of them are rap.
Wait. Please.
one
please
of
state
them-
your choices.
Is like Southern rock, and then one of
Hold
them.
up.
You're lagging, bro.
Say it again. Your mic just destroyed.
Oh, do you want R&B or Southern rock?
You know what I want, but
God, I don't know. If you're thinking about
I probably know what Nick wants.
if you're
too,
thinking
but-
about doing a weekend album, I don't really know what other R&B you listen.
Nah, I wouldn't do a weekend.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's too horny for this podcast.
Well, the new one's not like
what does that even mean?
like After Hours
Yeah, I was about to say.
isn't excessively horny. Like it
That's
is a little horny. But.
All right, decision made. We're gonna do next week. We're gonna do "Coming Home" by Leon Bridges.
Oh, cool.
is that the Southern Rock one?
No, that's the R&B one.
Okay,
Southern Rock I'll save because we're still gonna do that album. That'll be my next pick. That'll
Was
be my next pick.
out of curiosity, was that the same one you were thinking about doing whenever you picked?
It is
Okay,
not.
gotcha. I knew.
I realized while we were talking about this one, I was like, oh my god, I would love to do that one.
Okay.
And is it the deluxe album or the not deluxe album?
Let me look at the track list really quick.
Wow, didn't even come. Dude,
Dude, I chose like this like during this episode.
Are you freaking
I remembered
kidding
the
me, dude?
episode.
And you just outed yourself that you just chose it?
Dude, should we revisit you choosing Yay?
Yo, chill, dog. Just check it out.
I don't. Well, yeah, I think I
Yeah,
listened.
we'll do the deluxe because I didn't realize the last song is on the deluxe edition, but I really like that song. So
Does he have,
we'll do the
does he have
deluxe
5
edition.
extra songs in the deluxe? That's amazing.
He does. It's 15 minutes extra longer. 13
Does he?
minutes.
Is it really 5 extra
Yeah,
songs?
River is the last
Oh,
song.
Yes,
of the
it
first
really
one.
is.
Okay, so I guess I've only listened to the regular version because I thought that it ended at Mississippi Kisses, but yeah, we're definitely doing the deluxe version then because I love those songs at the end.
Bet.
Yeah, bro, this song you're gonna feel like you're back in like the 60s, but this came out in like 2015.
Yeah, have you listened to any Leon Bridges,
Dang.
Jordan?
Absolutely not.
I tell you
I
what,
really like
you're
this
in
guy.
for a treat because this is like the best Leon.
Yeah, he.
Bro, this is, and it makes me happy that you said you like this album because I feel like you're ready for this one.
That's true. Yeah, I could see that connection. I really like.
You're prepared.
I really like that album. The album we're gonna do next week, and
Mhm.
the EP that he put out. I think it was earlier this year or late last year.
Yeah.
That's really good too.
All right.
Nice.
Well, that's what we're gonna do, and it's gonna be
Amazing.
some nice smooth listening. And then next time I'll do what I was gonna do this time.
Gotcha. Well,
All right. So I guess just kind of what we've been listening to this week for me, it's been how long are we running? How quick do we have to be? All right, let's be pretty quick.
so pretty quick.
Yeah.
3 artists, Marcus King Band, Peach Pick's second album still, and the Black Keys.
Gosh.
Nice. I was gonna say there's this remix with this dude Hot Boy. Never heard of him, but he did a Lil Baby remix. I liked it a lot. I'm trying to get into YBN Namir a lot more, and you probably don't know who he is, but he's a rapper. I like his voice, but I've never just liked any of his music, which is kind of weird, except like one song. But Fabio Foreign put out a single kind of like that, Entrepreneur, featuring Jay-Z with Pharrell Williams. That one was kind of big. I like that song too. Laugh Now, Cry Later with Drake, obviously, and then Just My Normal Shit, just regular stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I kind of discovered the rap group Injury Reserve. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I listened to one of them too. Sorry,
I said yesterday I felt like you because I found one of their songs that I really liked and I put it on. I didn't put it on repeat, but I listened to it like 10 times the same day. I really liked it. But Injury Reserve. I listened to some Jack Johnson, specifically the Curious George album. Awesome.
Wait, the what?
Is that why you were dropping it?
Yeah. He
Discord
released
channel we
he
have.
released some like companion songs to the Curious George movie that came out in 2006, and I listened to that album last night, and a lot of the songs are pretty chill. And one of them is actually the first song I sent in our Discord is actually pretty good, and I really like it a lot. And the second song, I like it, but it's a cover of like the Schoolhouse Rock, like Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. Like I think it's Schoolhouse Rock, but it's just Jack Johnson, and I always like Jack Johnson, so I just sent it to him. But
it's pretty good. Jackie boy.
I investigated 100 Gex. Hyperpop isn't. They're a little. It's pretty interesting, but not really my thing, except for some Charlie XCX. She's pretty good. The Killer's new album, Imploding the Mirage, that was good.
Yeah, I think we both listened to that.
I enjoyed the majority of that. Also, I'm driving my mom's car this week, the Maxima, and I listened to Run the Jewels 3 in it because it has some super heavy bass.
Oh, dude, that's some crazy bass.
It was awesome.
Dude, the Maxima has such a crazy amount of stock bass.
It was good on the drive back to Run.
I can see it.
My final plug, there's a kind of like indie, like singer-songwriter woman that I kind of rediscovered this week. I knew one of her songs from a long time ago called Emotions and Math, but her name's Margaret Glaspie, and she has a cover of the Lauryn Hill song X Factor, which you might not know off the top of your head, but it's like heavily sampled in Nice for What, the Drake song. And
okay.
I would recommend you listen to Lauryn Hill's version first, because it's a really good like R&B song, and it's got some good attitude in it. Some like you can hear her like sass and her like remorse for like a failing relationship. But Margaret Glaspie's Spotify session cover is like incredibly sad, and it's really good. I would also recommend that.
Interesting. I love almost all the Spotify sessions.
Spotify sessions are great, but that I know
if you drop it on the Discord, I'll probably give it a listen.
But yeah, that wraps me up too.
Okay.
Nice,
all right, then I guess we'll take this one on home. Yeah, so we wanted to just say thanks for listening this week, and remember to tune in next week where we'll take a look at Coming Home by Leon Bridges. Be sure to check it out, the deluxe version specifically, so that you can have your own thoughts and can kind of mentally join in the discussion next week a little bit. Feel free to either leave a comment about your thoughts on this week's album on YouTube, or you can tweet them at us. We're on Twitter at ListenUpPod, and that account as well as our personal handles will be in the description of wherever you found this. If you guys could leave a rating, it doesn't have to be necessarily the best, but if you can just leave a rating wherever you found this podcast, that'll really help us out. And yeah, for now, we'll catch you next week, and remember to listen up.